What is your name, please?
My name is George Mikan.
What is your name, please?
My name is George Mikan.
What is your name, please?
My name is George Mikan.
Two of these people are imposters. Only one of them is the real George Mikan, and is the only one sworn to tell the truth. And here is our host, Bud Collier.
Thank you, and a very good evening to you. We're back again with our little game of deliberately misrepresenting. In this game, of course, four presumably smart people try to find out which one of three challengers has sworn to tell the truth. Now, to tell the truth is brought to you by Geritol, America's #1 tonic, the high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast. Now, let's meet our cross-examiners. What is your name, please?
My name is Polly Bergen.
My name is Ralph Bellamy.
My name is Kitty Carlisle.
And my name is Gardner.
Now, these three people all claim to be George Mikan. Of course, only one is the real George Mikan. The other two have merely assumed that identity, and they do not have to stick to the truth. Now, panel, will you check in front of you, because you will find there a copy of an affidavit, which I'm about to read. I, George Mikan, am referred to by sports writers as Mr. Basketball. While playing in college, I set a one-game scoring record which still stands. During my 10 years in the game as a professional, I held the league scoring record 7 times. I am now the father of 4 boys, a practicing attorney, and I ran for Congress in the 1956 elections. I swear that the above statement is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Signed, George Mikan. Now, we'll start our game in just... Okay, it's time now to play our game. These 3 gentlemen all claim to be George Mikan, better known as Mr. Basketball. Remember, if you will, panel, and everyone, that only the real George Mikan is sworn to answer your questions truthfully. Each of you will question until you hear this signal, and at the end of the questioning period, you will be asked to register your vote for the one person who, in your opinion, is the real George Mikan. And we'll begin our first round tonight with Ralph Bellamy. Ralph?
Well, I used to play a little basketball myself in my time, but the players got a little too tall for me. Might be interesting to know how tall you are. Number 1, how tall are you?
6'9", sir.
Number 2, how tall?
I'm 6'9", sir.
Number 3, how tall?
6'7", sir.
6'7".
What happened?
Number 1, what position did you play?
Played center, of course. What other position?
Number 1, who until recently was the coach at Long Island University?
Claire B., sir.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number 3, what state are you from?
Originally from New Jersey.
It says here that you ran for Congress. I assume you didn't make it.
That's a safe assumption.
You're a statewide Republican. May I also assume that you're a Democrat?
No, that's not a safe assumption.
Why? Number 2, why is height so important in basketball? I've never seen a basketball game.
Well, you know, to get the ball in the hoop.
Oh, in the thing.
That's right, in the thing.
And it's easier if you're taller.
Well, that's the presumption.
Hi, Gardner.
I don't know how to start because next to any one of these men, I feel like an unconfirmed rumor. Number 2, who is the present Southern District U.S. Attorney? A fellow by the name of Seypool, Williams, or Lane?
Gee, I don't really
Number
know.
1, can I ask you that question?
You can ask me, but I can't give you the answer.
Number 3, are you a practicing attorney?
Yes, I
You
am.
don't know the name of the U.S. Attorney?
No, I don't.
Very fascinating. I wouldn't want to hire you as my lawyer. Number 2, who promoted the first professional basketball game in Madison Square Garden?
I think Ned Irish.
Ned Irish. Mhm.
Polly Bergen.
Number 1, what is the difference between a boys' basketball team and a girls' basketball team? Besides the obvious, I mean.
Well, in boys basketball, they have 5 players on a team. I believe in girls basketball, they have 6 players, and they stay in their own zones.
Oh, I see.
They don't run as much.
Number 2, could you tell me what does the word conference mean in reference to basketball?
Oh, that means a league or where 4 or 5 or maybe 6 or 7 schools play in that particular
In other
conference.
words, it would be like a baseball series. It would be basketball conference. Is that right?
Well, no, it'd be more like divisions in baseball.
Oh, I see.
Ralph Bellamy.
Number 3, who was the sensation with San Francisco College who's now with the Boston Celtics?
Russell.
Russell. Number 1.
Right, that's it, panel. Already it is time to vote. So without consultation, will you mark your ballots and select number 1, number 2, or number 3? Remember, please, the team of challengers gets $250 for every incorrect vote, which means, of course, they can divide as large an amount as $1,000 if they fool the entire panel. All right, have you all marked your ballots, panel? You haven't? Because I'm going to call on you first. Polly Bergen, for whom did you vote?
Number 1.
I'm glad you told me. It looks like a 7. Number 1. Why, Polly?
No, that was my indecision between 1 and 2.
Oh, I
and I
see.
thought maybe if I made it look like a 2 and said number 1, I could get by one way or another. Number 1 and number 2 both were very good at the questions that I asked, anyways, and so I just sort of closed my eyes and pointed to one of them and wrote it down.
I see. Turned out to be number 1. All right, Ralph, you voted for?
Number 3.
What was your reason?
Well, it was a toss-up between 2 and 3 with me, and number 3, I think, seemed to be quicker with the questions, although I have some misgivings about his not knowing the United States attorney over there.
But none of them did. All right, Kitty, how about you? Your vote was for?
Number 2.
And what was your reason, Kitty?
Well, if it's that important to be so tall to get in the thing, he looks like the tallest.
He sits tall. Hi, Gardner, your vote?
Number 2, Bud.
And your reason, aye?
Well, first of all, he knew Ned Irish, and secondly, he sort of smiled like he always used the same name of George Mikan.
Well, good reason. There we are now. You have picked our brains, audience. You know how we stand and the reasons why the votes were cast the way they are. Hope you've got good reasons, because right now we're going to find out which one of these distinguished gentlemen is known as Mr. Basketball. So now, will the real George Mikan please stand? No remarking your ballots now. Thank you very much, George. Now let's find out about these other 2 fine gentlemen who are with us tonight. Number 1, would you tell us who you really are and what you really do?
My name is Ed Wilson. I sell for the Virginia Metal Products Company.
And number 3, how about you, sir?
My name is John Murphy. I'm a detective in the Newark, New Jersey Police Department.
Well, that was fun. And 2 of our panel toyed with number 2, but ducked away a little too fast, or it might have been a unanimous vote. So there we are. Incidentally, I don't know how many of you know it, but George Mikan stays very close to athletics. He holds a lot of sports clinics all over the country, sponsored by the U.S. Rubber Company. Isn't that right, George?
That's right, sir.
Good luck to you. Let's see how well you worked out now tonight. There were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each, for a total of $500 for you gentlemen to divide, with the compliments of Geritol. Thanks very much for being with us tonight. Good night and good luck to you.
Put it in.
Yes, he could, and very often did. And now may we have our next team of challengers, please.
What is your name, please? What is your name, please?
My name is Chester Conklin.
What is your name, please?
Chester Conklin.
What is your name, please?
My name is Chester Conklin.
All right, panel, will you follow along with your copy while I read you this affidavit? I, Chester Conklin, was one of the original Keystone cops of silent movie days. Previous to my appearance in motion pictures, I did a comedy monologue in vaudeville. And as a circus clown, I boxed a kangaroo. I have worked in more than 300 films and have appeared with, among others, W.C. Fields, Gloria Swanson, Ben Turpin, and Clara Bow. I made 6 comedy shorts with Charlie Chaplin. One of them was the first two-reel comedy. I swear the above statement is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Signed, Chester Conklin. All right, on with our game now, panel. These 3 distinguished gentlemen all claim to be Chester Conklin, former Keystone cop. Remember, of course, that only the real Chester Conklin is sworn to answer your questions truthfully. We'll start this round with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Number 1, are kangaroos easy to train? You say in the affidavit you boxed a kangaroo.
I wouldn't say that they're easily trained. Takes a lot of patience, but you can train them.
Are they gentle, number 2?
They're gentle.
Oh.
You don't hit them too hard.
Number 2, why are they called Keystone cops?
Because that is the trademark for the company, the first company, Keystone.
Number 3, who do you consider the greatest silent picture director?
Max Sennett.
Did you work for Max Sennett, number 1?
We did.
Hi, Gardner.
I did.
Number 3, who was Flora Finch?
She's a comedian.
Comedian. Number 3, was Fatty Arbuckle in his prime fatter than Fat Jackie Leonard was before Fat Jackie Leonard lost 100 pounds?
I wouldn't know.
Number 1, what is Clara Bow's husband's name?
Rex Bell?
Number 1, in silent pictures, did you really say the words that appeared on the screen?
Well, we didn't have any cue sheets then.
I see. Number 4, who was Paul Coates?
Number 4.
Number 4?
Number 3, I mean, I'm sorry.
You know that old one, don't you? Late last night upon the stair, there was a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. Gee, I wish he'd go away.
I was thinking of a parlay at Jamaica. Number 3, who was Paul Coates, do you know?
I think he's a newspaper man.
Thank you, sir.
Polly Bergen.
And number 2, who is considered the great lover in the old days of motion pictures?
You mean on the set or off the set?
Well, I don't know. Which answer would you like to give me?
I would say on the set, Herbert Walthall.
Herbert Wald who?
Walthall.
Oh. Could you, number 3, could you name me at least 4 of the original Keystone cops?
Well, there's Al St. John and Fort Sterling. And,
I think that's enough. We got a long list
very
of
well.
time
Thank you,
here.
sir.
So Ralph Bellamy. Ralph?
Number 1, what actor who appeared with those one-reel comedies who later became a very well-known dramatic star, sometimes played a woman, dressed up as a woman?
Dramatic star.
Yes, in pictures. Number 2, can you answer it?
I don't know that one.
Number 3, can you answer it?
Wally Berry?
Well, that's all we have time for this time now. It's time again to vote. It comes around fast. No consultation, please, and just mark your ballot. Voting for number 1, number 2, or number 3. You ready, panel? Okay, Polly's ready this time. You voted for whom, Polly?
I voted for number 3.
May I ask why?
Well, because he seemed to know more about the old movies than the other 2, as far as I was concerned.
Ralph, your vote was for?
Number 3.
Also number 3. Your reason?
Well, he knew about Wally Berry, that was right. And I think a lot of people might have forgotten that.
Kitty?
Number 2.
And why did you vote for number 2?
I just thought he looked funnier.
Hi, Gardner. Your vote was cast for?
Number 3.
Number 3. And
Yeah,
your
when I
reason?
first saw the 3 gentlemen up there, the number 3 looked like he was the only one who really built his own stomach, naturally.
All right, here we go now. You've got our votes and our reasons, and I hope yours are as sound. We're going to find out right now, for all of us concerned, which one of these gentlemen is the real Chester Conklin. So will the real Chester Conklin please stand up. Well, good enough. Number one, would you tell us who you really are, please, and what you do?
My name is Irvin Siegel, Siegel Electronics, New York.
Very nice to have you. And number two, what is your real name and occupation?
I'm Ben Green. I'm the president of Micro Sound Picks Company, 1650 Broadway in New York.
Chester, just for the fun of it, I know I'm dying to. How about the rest of us? Let's find out what you really look like. Would you mind, Chester?
Not a bit.
All right.
You really want to see?
Really do. Thank you, sir. Well, it makes quite a difference, and you certainly brought a lot of people a lot of joy over the years, believe me. Well, let's see how we made out now. Our panel did pretty well there. There was only one incorrect vote for a total of $250 from Geritol. Accepted with our congratulations. Thanks for being with us. We hope you enjoyed the visit, too. Good night and good luck. Now may we have our third team of challengers, please.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sheila Leadbetter.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sheila Leadbetter.
What is your name, please?
My name is Sheila Leadbetter.
All right, panel, will you please follow along while I read you this affidavit? I, Sheila Leadbetter, am the producer of the 64,000 Question on television in England. I studied at the Royal Academy in London, and for 2 years I worked for the British Broadcasting Company. I have made television films in Paris and Tangiers. I came to this country to examine some American television programs for production in England. To tell the truth, my reason for being here tonight is to examine this program firsthand. I swear that the above statement is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Signed, Sheila Leadbetter. Now, we'll start our cross-examination in just a minute. These three people all claim to be Sheila Leadbetter, British television producer. Each of you again question till you hear the signal. We'll start this round with Polly Bergen. Polly?
Number two, 64,000 what?
Shillings.
64,000 shillings?
In England, yes.
Oh, the 64,000 shillings. Number two, could you tell me the name of three of the English networks?
Oh, yes. There's diffusion, radio rediffusion, television diffusion.
Yes.
The BBC, of course, which
Yes.
is the former one that you know about, and Associated British Television.
I see. Thank you very much. Number three, could you tell me, what does an inky dink mean? Number one, could you tell me what an inky dink is?
I'm afraid I have no
Number
idea.
two, what is an inky dink?
I don't think we use the same term.
It's a song by Jimmy Durante. Ralph Sullivan.
Number one, you say you were in Tangiers. Under what rule is Tangiers?
I'm afraid I don't know at the moment.
Number two, do you know?
It was international at that time. I'm not sure what has happened to it since. It was
Oh,
sort
I
of
meant
a
at the
four-party
time you played
Yes.
there. Number three, for what series did you make television films in Tangiers and Paris?
There were 5-minute films on a girl's
5 minutes.
adventures.
Who for?
On a girl's adventures.
Ah, yes, I see. Number one, what is British Actors Equity Association?
Well, it's the association that's like your labor thing here. It's a union.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number one, how do British commercials differ from American commercials?
Well, for one thing, they're not quite so urgent and, and a little slower.
That's a good answer. Number three, what is RADA?
The Royal Academy of Dramatic Art.
Number 2, do you know where Rada is?
Yes, in Gower Street, just by London University.
Number 1, do you think British audiences would like this program?
Very much.
Number 3, when you were in Tangiers, where did you make your films?
Well, it was about the whole city.
Oh, out of doors, not in a studio?
Never in a studio.
Hi, Gardner.
Number 2, who was a gentleman named Vic Parnell?
Dick Parnell, he's the London, not the Hippodrome, the London Saturday night, the Palladium, the London Palladium.
Yeah. Number 3, how much more taxes do contestants pay on your version of the $64,000 question?
Well, I don't think they're taxed straight away as soon as, as soon as the program finishes. They don't sort of automatically get a cut, but I have nothing to do with that.
Number 2, when are they going to start using English titles on British movies? No, actually, what I wanted to ask you is, do you think that British comedians are funnier than American comedians?
Oh, I don't know. They tell the same jokes, both sides of the Atlantic.
Number 1, I would like to ask the question, what is the name of the London club in which Miss Marlena Dietrich appeared and was introduced by Noel Coward?
The Café de Paris.
That's it. With that little bit of information, it's time to vote once again. So, panel, will you mark your ballots? And as usual, mark them for number 1, number 2, or number 3. Mark your ballots. Polly, you voted for number who? What?
I voted for number 2.
Why, Polly?
Well, actually, because the other 2 English accents sort of sounded like an English accent I would do. They're probably both English, and I'll kill myself after the show. But the number 2, the English accent, I thought was very well done. And also, she knew the 3 networks in England.
I see. Ralph?
Number 2.
What was your reason, Ralph?
Well, again, I thought number 2 had more information and was a little bit more glib with it.
Kitty?
Number two, yes. Well, she knew where Rada was, and I thought that was rather good.
Hi, Gardner.
Number 2, I noticed that number 2 is gray-haired, and anybody in television is bound to get gray.
All right, now, don't change your minds. Play along here and see how well the panel did and how well you did with them. Because we are about to find out which of these charming ladies is the real television producer. What's the matter?
We're all wrong.
You are? Well, let's see. Will the real Sheila Leadbetter please stand up? Clean. Thank you very much, Miss Ledbetter. Now let's find out what these other ladies do. Number 1, what do you really do, and what is your name?
My name is Denise McLaglen, and I'm a sales representative for the Dan Cooper Design Corporation here in New York.
Number 2, how about you?
My name is Joy Wright, and I'm in charge of the press division for the British Information Services in the United States.
I've only one thing to say to you, number 3. How dare you come over here with a phony English accent?
I'll never live that down. I'll never live
Well, that's all the time we have. Let's find out how well you did. You did mighty well. $1,000 from Geritol to divide. Congratulations, and good night, and the best of good luck to you, ladies. I regret to have to say that's all the time we have for tonight. I'd like to say, before saying goodnight to the panel, a very short, we trust, goodbye to our own Polly Bergen, who's leaving us for 3 or 4 weeks to appear in the lead in the Helen Morgan story on television, originating in Hollywood. Good luck to you, Polly. We'll be waiting
Thank
for
you.
you.
I think it's the perfect time for me to go.
Filling your place till you come back is lovely Mary Healy, who'll be with us until your return. And that's it, folks. So good night to you right now. And don't forget what I told you about Geritol, the high-potency tonic that helps you feel stronger fast. This is Bud Collier reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
Transportation for To Tell the Truth is arranged by American Airlines. Guests have flown to New York aboard American's famous luxury flight, the DC-7 Mercury. To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production, in association with the CBS Television Network.